gentlemen, Mr. Kukreja would be talking about a winning WhatsApp commerce strategy. So, Mr. Kukreja, the question to you is, if you were a WhatsApp status, what would the status be?
Um, Call me later.
Call me later.
Yes.
Okay, we'll leave it at that. We'll have a mysterious end to it. Fantastic. Beautiful answer, Mr. Kukreja. Stage is all yours. Thank you so much.
All right. Um, cool. So I'll try to make it a little engaging and interesting and different in the sense that A, I was told that we are running 15 minutes late, and B, I was told that I am the one standing between the lunch outside and all the people who have been just sitting here patiently listening to all of us our monologues, right? So I'll get to it. Right, that's me. I am an ISB alumni. Umigo is one of my failed entrepreneurial ventures. And over the period of time, I have learned how to sell, do BD, do some bit of marketing strategy, I hope to implement some of those marketing skills today here as well. So the agenda of the next couple of minutes is essentially going to be a WhatsApp commerce strategy, right? So we all know what's WhatsApp, we all know what's strategy, but the word commerce really in the middle is something that we don't really know what does really mean, right? Commerce on WhatsApp. Are we selling on WhatsApp? Is WhatsApp WeChat? Can I buy and sell on WhatsApp? Because we are used to having very intimate peer-to-peer conversation with our friends, family. Receiving those good morning messages from family groups and so many other groups that we have been added to. So essentially the flow of the next couple of minutes is going to be why in terms of what is WhatsApp commerce, the how, which is what exactly is the experience of shopping on WhatsApp, and then we'll cover some of the steps in terms of what is the right way to think about it. And as champions of digital transformation and transformation in large consumer enterprises, I'm sure that this is something that is absolutely relevant to any and every consumer brand in the country today. So we'll get started with it. So just to set some context of why, right? I think we all know that India runs on WhatsApp. If WhatsApp doesn't operate, we don't know how our day is going to look like, because we just can't exchange notes with our friends, family, we can't communicate with our peers. So WhatsApp and India go hand in hand. Is this working? Yeah, okay. So WhatsApp is essentially poised to be the WeChat for the rest of the world, right? WeChat, to sort of just set some context, it is the largest messaging app of China, having billions of users. Every business that is there in China, before they launch a web or an app of their own, they launch their store on WeChat. And that is where they get their first set of users, first set of customers with end-to-end transactions. So as we covered and unravel some of the next slides, we'll see that how WhatsApp is essentially going to be WeChat for the rest of the world, right? And India sits at the center of it. So some numbers, right? So out of India, 487, and I was checking this number last week, I think 600 million, so close to 600 million users from India are on WhatsApp. And I read a very interesting insight, which was that for a lot of Indians, access to internet actually means having a operating WhatsApp account, right? The moment they get onto WhatsApp, they are able to send and receive messages. They say that, yes, now I am online, I am connected on internet. So that is the power of WhatsApp, right? For a consumer brand who wants to reach out to, obviously the India, which is the top 10 to 15 crore population living in tier 1, tier 2 cities, that is mostly, overbanked, overserved. There's lots of competition. The next wave of growth is actually coming in from the next billion or the next 500 million users. And WhatsApp essentially becomes the channel for you to reach out to them in a very simple and a very personalized way. The time spent, right? So I think this is anecdotally also we are able to very easily validate this, that all the times that we spend on our phones, right, across all the other apps, leave aside video or OTT for the time being, that is one side, and the time that we spend on WhatsApp, that is on the other. that is, on the other side. So more than half of the time that we spend on our phones is actually on WhatsApp, reading messages and exchanging messages. So the consumer's attention is actually there on WhatsApp when they are on their phones. Thirdly, there is something called a WhatsApp business app, right? And today in India, we have close to 50 million businesses that are already set up on WhatsApp business app, right? So over the last 2 years, I'm sure during COVID, during lockdown, you would have interacted with your local kirana stores, you would have interacted with your local, gyms or fitness centers or food and delivery shops on WhatsApp, where you would have said, hey, can you send me, these eggs or bread or whatever. So that is the scale of WhatsApp that COVID actually has, accelerated that transformation of businesses being on WhatsApp and us being comfortable consuming products and services on WhatsApp. And then finally, business catalogs. So over 1 million business catalogs have already been created in India. So what does a business catalog mean? Business catalog is essentially a way in which you can have an app-like experience of products, images, descriptions on WhatsApp natively, like you would have on a consumer app. So we'll talk about this as well, but this is just to let you know that the transformation is already happening, right? There are already 50 million businesses on WhatsApp, 1 million catalogs have been created already on WhatsApp, right? So it's something that's already happening as we talk. So that was on the WhatsApp side, right? When we talk about commerce, I said what is commerce doing in between WhatsApp and strategy, right? So on WhatsApp, the mode of engagement is having a conversation, right? So what does a conversational commerce journey actually look like? It is something which is, in this way, which is circular, and it can start at any given time. You can actually receive an offer on WhatsApp. It can be around recommendations. It could be around your delivery updates. It could be around feedback, and that notification can then translate into something which is more intent-led, which is, hey, can you help me with another service? Can you help me with another product? I bought a shirt. Can I buy a matching pair of socks as well? That conversation then converts into product recommendations, which further lead to purchase validation by reviews, photos, and so on. And finally, we have native cart and checkout and payment integrations on WhatsApp that help in completing the transaction. And then the entire cycle continues where post-purchase activities and engagements also can happen on WhatsApp. So the entire circular journey can be implemented on WhatsApp, where you not just have pre-purchase and purchase, but post-purchase as well. So for repeat buying behavior, WhatsApp becomes your essential platform. So the end-to-end customer lifecycle essentially can happen on WhatsApp, from pre-purchase to purchase to obviously post-purchase. This is one of the most beautiful slides that I love, right? Which is that regardless of the industry, regardless of complexity of the product or the service, WhatsApp can be a channel where you have to be, right? And there are essentially use cases that can apply to any industry, any product, any category. I've just listed down some of the top use cases amongst some of the top industries that we feel are out there and are most popularly being used. But this is just the 60%, right? There is a long tail that also happens, and that absolutely is very well valid to be present on WhatsApp as well. Over the next couple of slides, what I'll do is I'll just break down the entire commerce journey into specific steps from a consumer perspective. So how do I discover a brand on WhatsApp, right? These are some of the touch points where you can make your consumers aware that, hey, once I'm on WhatsApp, how do I create awareness around that within people? So you need to collect opt-ins from your customers, which can be on a simple missed call service. It can be through ads that click to WhatsApp. You can do in your stores. So whenever people walk into your stores, into your bank branches, into your offices, you can tell them that, hey, we are on WhatsApp also, no need to come to our office. You can simply send a message and we'll help you with your query. We are working with lots of retail brands to leverage QR codes, right? The friendly QR codes that help us with payments. The same QR code that you place at strategic points that can actually help you start a conversation on WhatsApp so that the user doesn't really have to come in back again to the store. Right. So once the discovery of the user has happened and the conversation has started, how do they come to know about your products and services, right? So far, we have been used to a very simple native interface, which is, a user sends a message and the business sends me a message back. Now, what WhatsApp has done is WhatsApp has released very rich user UI elements on the interface. One of this is what you see, which is called a catalog, right? Which is a multi-product message. So what you can see here is that a grocery store can actually have different categories of products, and within different categories, they can have products with images, descriptions, price, and discount as well. So this becomes a very powerful way of users to leverage, the reach and the simplicity of WhatsApp, which is very standardized, not at all confusing, and think of the user which is just getting access to internet, right? If you want to sell to him or her in a language that they prefer, this becomes, very powerful and a very efficient way of engaging with them. Right. So let's say, so that was the multi-product message, right, where you can see multiple products. What if I want to go one level deeper and I want to check about a specific product in more details? So you click on any of those products and a product display page opens, which essentially has, so there is an entire catalog of images that you could have. You have a bigger title and you can have, description of about the product. Down below as well. So there is a message business in case you want to ask a question around, hey, can you deliver it to me in 2 days, 2 hours? Can I order 3? Do you have an offer around this product? You can ask a question by messaging the business, or you can directly add to cart. And WhatsApp also has now released a native cart feature, right? So on the top right, you see a cart icon, similar to the Flipkart logo. So that is where the users can actually access the cart and at any given point, and they can proceed to checkout. So the moment you click on add to cart, the cart experience begins, right? So once you click on that, this is where the products keep getting added. You can modify the quantity. You can simply click on the send button. You can check out. You can modify your delivery address. You can confirm it. And finally comes the payment option, right? So what Haptik has done is Haptik has integrated with the most loved payment option by the country, which is UPI. And in simple 3 clicks, you can actually complete the payment natively on WhatsApp. So no need to go to a browser, enter your credit card details, OTP, and all of that. So, so this entire shopping experience is something that we have, we have started delivering to brands at scale. And some of the other interesting features that we have also rolled out is, something called voice commerce. So there's a behavior that you would have seen, which is, okay, I'll in the interest of time, I'll just quickly show you this video, which is essentially where instead of typing, you can actually record a message using the mic button, and you can, right, so there's no audio, but you send a recorded message, the bot understands, and you continue with the conversation, right? So we support Hindi, English, Marathi, and other regional languages as well. So again, for the audience, which may be in a very last mile where they don't prefer typing, they prefer sending a voice message, you can actually have a commerce experience for them on WhatsApp. And then finally, whenever you launch a new consumer platform, the right way to think about the strategy is that you determine a release date, you do a lot of awareness around it, you promote it on different channels. And once you start getting users, you measure the key metrics, and you keep adding new features and you iterate upon it. So WhatsApp commerce overall, it's a fairly new strategy. There are lots of do's and don'ts. There is lots of user behavior that needs to be understood, and brands need to align with those. So do we know everything? No. But is this the right thing? Is this the right time to enter? Absolutely yes, because if you are not doing it, your competitors are doing it, and they are actually one step ahead already if they are on WhatsApp, and probably some brands are not. So Haptic powered with JioMart to launch WhatsApp commerce for the grocery business. So what we did was that we actually integrated the entire shopping experience on WhatsApp, where you could enter your daily food items like groceries and so on through a fairly conversational experience, right, that you see on the screen on the right. And so you can have your location confirmed. You can use the catalog feature to discover different products, right? So the user clicks on view items, the category page opens. I'll just take another 60 seconds, if that is okay. I see that people haven't left for the lunch, so I'm guessing that this is of some interest to them, so I'll continue with that. Right, so the product gets added to the cart. You can look at multiple, you can have multiple products also added. So what you can essentially see is that entire app-like experience is being offered natively on WhatsApp, for product discovery and checkout. So I can modify the quantity. Once I'm ready to check out with my final cart, what I'll do is I'll remove this item and I'll click on the send button. Right, so this is the final cart that I want to check out with. I confirm my address, I select the mode of payment, and boom, I check out. So this is the power, right, with the kind of reach of WhatsApp, with the kind of user behavior, the attention, the mind space that WhatsApp has on our devices. It is absolutely important that we also figure out a way as brands to have a presence on these channels and leverage the reach. These are some numbers on the JioMart implementation that we have done. That in the first few days that we launched, we actually used non-transactional messages to reach out to people by sending them offers and so on. 80% of the people chose to pay within WhatsApp using the native payment feature, and this is the most amazing metric, which is that 95% of the users that we have seen on WhatsApp were repeat users, right? So the repeat usage behavior on WhatsApp is so powerful that it actually is much better than having an app. These are some of the features that are on the roadmap. So WhatsApp will continue to invest a lot in this API, in the overall experience and discovery of businesses and catalogs on WhatsApp. So this is, WhatsApp itself is going to invest a lot in improving the catalogs, different product search and checkout behavior. So this is only going to help brands to offer much richer experiences on WhatsApp going forward. So that was about it, and we are happy to meet with you, have a conversation around how we could help you understand and make sense of this much better. Thank you so much.